already on the show. So anyway, yeah, man. So we're heading up to Boston this weekend for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, funny. We
never, yeah, never been. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it.
You hitting the parade and all that, or?
Yeah. We're my girlfriend went to she went to Emerson up there, and yeah, so she's still got a lot of friends. And then my cousin used to play for the Sox, Brian Johnson, and
crazy.
Yeah, so I know he's no longer up there, but
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I never made it when I was, when he was playing to be able to get up there. So. Sure. Where are you now? What's going on?
We're Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when do you guys head back to Boston?
Well, we have a day off tomorrow, and we got a show in Uncasville, Connecticut, at the Mohegan Sun Casino. There's an arena there, and then that's Thursday, so Friday. So late that night, we travel to Boston.
Man, you guys are going to be worn out.
We are, yeah, we are. We just came off of 6 in a row. We had a day off, first day off yesterday after 6 shows, and with an hour and a half set, it's pretty. That's yeah. I could barely hold my arms up.
I'm yesterday. Sure.
So everybody took had a real relaxing day in Richmond, Virginia, just strolling around, Epsom salt bathtub kind of thing.
Yeah. How many shows are you guys doing in Boston this weekend?
We're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we're doing Friday, Saturday that we do like a show for the kids. It's a full charity event, goes to the Claddagh Fund and distributes monies from there.
Yeah.
And, then we do the regular show that night. Then we have Sunday, and then those are at the MGM Fenway, and then Monday we go across the street to the House of Blues for a more intimate show. It's still 2,200 capacity, but it's more than half the size of the other place. So, and a lot of people like to see us show in I like to see bands in smaller venues too.
Right. Yeah.
I completely get that.
Yeah, it kind of adds to it, and there's also bands that have gone back to their roots. Where they're going back and playing smaller venues for that, intimacy sort of thing. So
yeah, and it sounds different too. So it's like, you're in a smaller place that the sound is just tighter, and it's a different experience.
Yeah, right. Do you change your set, your drum set, when you play those sort of venues, or does everything always remain the same?
No, they remain the same. The set list, on the other hand, changes every night. So. Every night we play a different set list.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are, there's probably a group of maybe 5 to 10 songs we'll do every night, but we'll kind of flip things around and play, change, make sure that we're playing a different set from the last time we were there.
I got you.
Whatever town, So you hate to see a band come through and they say the same BS between songs, and they start with the same tune, and everything's like choreographed.
Yes. It's like they learn their like a Broadway show or something. And then
and that's fine for certain things, but we've never really been about that. So it's so that's good. So this weekend's going to be a lot of dusting off a lot of tunes, and which we've been doing this whole tour, just like at Soundcheck.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It keeps people interested. It keeps it interesting for us too.
Yeah, because keep you on your toes, keep your chops down and that sort of thing.
Yeah, because you can't really rely that much on muscle memory, because you're going from one song into a completely different one than you were the night before.
Yeah. I've seen bands do that where you see them, I would go see I'm not going to say who it is, but you go see, they play locally, and then I would go up to Nashville. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, by the way.
Okay.
I would go see them in Nashville, and they would do it's the same stage banter, the same intro to a song, the same counting into a song sort of stuff. And it was just like, come on, man. Yeah. I mean,
I've seen that 2 nights in a row at the same venue, because I went with a buddy to see a band who I'm pretty ambivalent about. They're a good band, legendary, but they did the show, and then the next night it was the same. Dude, you were here last night.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and you can almost say the same things that they said. Because
we were imitating like blah 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 blah. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned just to distract away from the drums. You mentioned the Claddagh Fund. Can
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about that and tell us what's going on? I
Yeah.
personally contribute because
Thank
I
you.
strongly believe in it. But can you kind of tell us the mission behind it and what
Yeah. Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys do with it and things like that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it started over maybe 15 years ago now or something. And we've, once the band got a little bit of popularity, people like, oh, can you guys contribute this to this charity? Can you do this charity event? And like, happy to do it, but then we've realizing half these charities and half these events are like, how much is actually going to the people who's supposed to be supporting? And like a lot of times,
Right,
you're seeing a very small percentage of the money's raised actually going towards helping anybody, and a lot of it's going towards the administrative end of things, which of course people can't do everything for free. Things do cost,
right,
whether it's electricity or rent, leasing a place, whatever. I understand, but so it's like let's start our own thing, and that way we'll know exactly where everything's going. So basically, it funnels money towards um, um, helping people who are recovering from alcohol or drug addiction, which is very has always been very close to the band. Um, Veterans coming home, and I mean, these are things that they sort of overlap. I mean, veterans coming home
oh
from
sure,
combat or whatever, and
PTSD and all
PTSD
that.
and
Yeah,
sometimes drug addiction
yep,
from whatever medication dependence and stuff like that. So, and then children's, like inner city kids, children's, you know, like Toys for Tots kind of thing, and also clothing and that kind of thing for children.
yeah,
And so we're able to make sure that like a good, I think 95% of the time, all the money will go to these, go to the people that need them, need the
right.
help most. And yeah, and using the band's popularity rather for self-aggrandizement and more for actually help somebody, do something for someone,
Yeah.
using it for in a constructive way.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in like in a perfect situation to do something like that because your notoriety,
Yeah, and a lot
people
of bands,
familiar with it.
a lot more bands could do that. I mean, you don't. I'm not saying you should. I mean, as a band, it's not your responsibility to do it. But if you're in the position
No,
to do it, like what the heck? Why
right.
not?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything.
Exactly. Yeah, you're doing some good. Making, you're not crawling up your own backside with how wonderful you are. You're actually doing something to help other people.
Right.
Make it a selfless act. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if nothing else, you the Murphys being attached to it brings notoriety. Well, I said that word again, but
That's okay.
brings awareness of those sort of situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get even more people involved, that sort of thing. And so
And that's shown. That's the proof has been in the pudding for that. Definitely. I mean, that's you see that because people want to get involved because they like the band or whatever this or that. But also, it gets people into the band because they're charitably minded people. Like, oh, let's check. I heard something about this band. Whatever. Like,
right.
oh, they're not too terrible. Nice. I like this.
Yeah, I got involved because my father was in Korea and
Oh yeah.
had PTSD from it, and his way of soothing things was drinking.
Yep.
And so when I saw that and read that when I originally saw it and started contributing, I was that sort of stuff hits home. Like I help out a local charity here that works with PTSD veterans.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Those guys, I love those guys to death. They're funny, and they're just trying to live their lives, and they've
Sure.
got
Yeah.
this pain hanging over them. Now I know also you guys were involved with the LA fires recently.
Yeah. Well, we have found that from years ago, unfortunately, another disaster, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah,
We made a shirt for that, and everyone who contributed to that, the clothing maker, the printers, and even I think it was just postage that had to be paid for. It was like almost 100% of the proceeds went to help out the victims. So with that in mind, with the success of that in mind, and the beautiful fact that our fans are so supportive, we did that for the LA fires. And yeah, like almost 100% of the proceeds went directly to helping out. And our fans, people just supported that like a mother. I mean,
Right.
so many people.
You can
bought
cuss,
shirts.
by the way.
Pardon?
Yeah, I said you can curse on here if you
Oh,
want.
okay. I don't typically trying not to for this time of year, but
Oh,
something I'm
yeah.
working on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just, again, something else, I had to buy the shirt because
Cool. Thank you.
I have some friends that were impacted by it out there.
Yeah.
That are, and it's sad, man. I mean, I just couldn't imagine, that
Oh,
sort of
dude,
thing. So,
friends send me pictures from out there and stuff or even, I mean, our tour manager lives out there. He luckily didn't have to evacuate, but the guy producer we've been working with for a long time, his family, they were this close to evacuating, and if you're involved in music at all, there's a big
oh
hub of
yeah,
that is in LA, so it's a lot of
right,
people out there have been affected. It's nuts. Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's get more positive, I guess.
You bet.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in playing drums. Is it an adult sort of thing, like you decided, or you've been playing since you were a kid?
Well, you'd think I just picked them up, but my dad is a drummer, and I just
Oh,
I just
that's right.
talked
I
to him.
read that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just talked to him today. He just picked up one of the new Ludwig Superphonics because I have one of
Oh,
them.
wow.
They're great. They're awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's been playing since '65. He was involved in some like kind of heavy psych kind of bands in the late '60s, early '70s. His band was featured in the Acid Fuzz and Flowers Encyclopedia of Psych and Garage Bands, which is some famous tome of for enthusiasts. Yeah, so my dad, he's been playing drums since before I was born, for 10 years before I was born, and his younger brother, Mike Spud Kelly, also played drums. He's more of a
Okay.
harp player and singer now, and we have family who. There's a band over in Germany called the Kelly family or the Kelly Familien, who are my dad's first cousins, and they're multi-platinum superstars over there,
Oh, really?
like Hasselhoff. Yeah, it's
Oh,
insane.
wow.
So we've always had the music in the family. I started when I was a little kid. I wanted to play saxophone, and then I saw, my dad. I'd always be around music. My dad would be playing in his bands. My mom would be playing records, whatever. And I was like, oh, I want to be in a band. I want to ride a motorcycle, and I want to have tattoos. Okay. So when I was 9, I started taking lessons. When I was 8, I said I want to play drums. So at 9, my dad's like, well, you're gonna have to take lessons because it's part of your education and this and that. And I don't want you to learn how I did. I want you to learn theory, and I want you to learn how to read.
Was he self-taught?
He was self-taught. He
Okay.
Later on, while I was taking lessons years later, he ended up taking lessons from the same guy who's just a great jazz drummer. This guy Don Kirby. He's still a great drummer. He was a lefty, a southpaw like myself, and it was so good he decided to learn how to play right-handed. So he plays right-handed as
Oh,
well.
wow.
He's ambidextrous. Yeah. So I took lessons from the age of 9 to 16, and been playing in bands since I was 12.
Do you feel like being ambidextrous, I guess, to a degree, do you feel like that helps you or hinders you?
I'm sorry, to be clear, I'm not ambidextrous. My drum teacher is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
although I play bass and guitar right-handed, but I'm a lefty.
Well, see, like I was left-handed. I was left-handed growing up, and my grandfather switched me because, I mean, as you may know, it's considered bad luck
Yeah,
or
Dexter
bad
and
things.
Sinister.
Yeah. And my family's Northern Irish. They're from Antrim, and yeah, and it was when I started playing. I started out as a guitar player because I wanted to be Ace Frehley, and then
Of course.
I had some friends, local friends, where I grew up, this small town I grew up in Texas, and they were like, "Hey, we need a drummer. Do you know a drummer?" And I was working in a music shop, and they came in. And I was like, "Yeah, I play drums," and I stole a pair of sticks, went home, and it became muscle memory to learn these songs.
Yeah.
And then I just have stuck with it through the years.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then when I go boxing, I have to stop and think for a minute because I can do southpaw
or righty.
Yeah. And
that comes in handy, I'm sure.
when I go to do mitts, I have to stop and think, how am I standing? Am I standing?
Forward?
Yeah. Yeah. And then my coach always gets on to me. He's like, okay, what are you doing today? Are we doing southpaw? Or are we doing you know.
Yeah.
So
Straight.
yeah, I get it. I totally get
That's
it.
a good problem to have.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it to me. I think it's really helped me, especially as I got more into playing and taking lessons and really took my crafts more seriously. I think it really helped um, to have that strong left hand naturally.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Definitely. I like my right hand's pretty strong. I'm able to do a lot. The only thing stopping me from like setting up righty would be my foot.
Yeah,
Be
I could see
because
that. Yeah,
the right foot is just it's dumb. It can sock up and down on the hi hat. That's about
yeah. I
it.
was gonna say that. Well, I mean, that's your hi hat foot. Why
Yeah,
should you? You know.
yeah. But
So
yeah, it's good having that extra strength in your so-called weak hand because you can
right.
color things a little bit more differently than you would just being relying solely on your dominant hand.
Right. Did you play in a school band or anything growing up or
Yeah, it was an easy grade. I joined the marching band as a freshman in high school.
marching?
I'm sorry,
That,
marching band. The
the
marching band, yeah.
Boston coming out in you. I love it.
I'm from Central Mass myself, but we talk even weirder.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, no, but the marching band, and then extended to concert and jazz band, and played in a bit of. There was an orchestra that would play the school musicals, and they, of course,
Yeah.
would defer to the students, so they wouldn't have to pay a professional. So I did that a few times. Yeah, but I played in marching band, and like I could. Yeah, it wasn't challenging, but it was an easy grade for a slacker. Um, so voila,
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
the music was
oh,
easy to read, and it was just snare drum. So I mean, we did a cadence that I wrote, which I don't think they ever used after I left, but contributed a bit. Drum
yeah.
captain, got the John Philip Sousa Award, which wasn't saying much at the time. It wasn't that most kids didn't really take their instruments that seriously. So it was
Right.
like this kid kind of knows what he's doing here. Have an award.
Yeah. Do you, with your background, do you still warm up before shows using rudiments or anything
Yeah,
like that?
every time. Oh, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, that's like that is priority one. If there's a show, if there's something like we got to meet people or something before a show, it has to be 15 minutes before because I warm up for an hour. I warm up for an hour and give it a half hour cool down before
Oh,
we hit
wow.
the stage. Yeah, I stretch and warm up on pads with metronome and yeah, it's a certain routine I go through. It's just going. If you want to get technical, to go left hand single stroke 8, right hand to 8. Then we just go down to 7, 7, 6, 6, down to 1, then back up to 8 again, twice with my feet playing quarter notes, kick, hat, kick, hat, playing quarter notes. And then when it finally matches back up, that's when I switch to some single stroke, double stroke, and then some
Oh, okay. Yeah.
just a few different just exercises. And I have one of those like DW little the four pads on a stand kind of thing. So just
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
going around the kit, keeping open, sticking, not crossing sticks, trying to go, just going from 120 to 200, and doing that, and then sort of quick warm up like right before the set and get on stage. But it's always warm up. When I first started with the band, I mean, when I was a kid in other bands, I didn't really warm up. I just didn't I didn't even think of the concept. And when I joined the band, I'd say a good like 3 months in, every single pad of my hand was blister that had torn off and would like just bleed. I like after the end of the set, I could squeeze my hand and blood and pus would come out. It was awful. And a guy, the drummer from the band U.S. Bombs, Chip Hanna, was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
why
know
don't you?
Chip.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's like, why don't you? You should warm up, man. Get one of those practice pads. He's like, you can't go from 0 to 60. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I'm playing a lot more. I'm not playing one show a night, well, one show a week like I was doing with other bands before Dropkicks. I was like, oh, and I just built a routine from there, and I do it religiously. I have to do it.
Have you changed your grip through the years? Has anything
I still
changed?
do German,
Okay.
pretty much German grip. I mean, sometimes I go a little German French hybrid. I guess it's the American grip a little bit, but mostly, um, the carpus is straight. It's usually
Yeah.
like so, as opposed to like this. My dad plays like that, and a lot of people I know play like that, but I play like this, which I found that it's easier to maintain double stroke rolls with that, but single stroke and rapid single stroke is not as easy with that grip, I think, as maybe with French grip or American grip.
Yeah.
That's just
Have
how I
you
learned
ever
it.
have you ever did you ever study like stick control by Joe Morello or anything like that?
No, but I love Joe Morello. No, I actually I don't have that, but there's another book I have that he learned off of. I forget it. Oh, I don't know the guy's name. It's an older book. It's from the 30s or 40s. For if it's a stick control kind of book.
Oh, okay.
But no, I should look into the Joe Morello stick control, because I mean his Castilian drums is one of my favorite solos. Well, one of the favorite solos within a song.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I saw him at I was fortunate enough to see him at a NAMM show.
oh man,
I mean, it was you just walk away going, you throw your
I
sticks up in
give
the air.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm done.
Yep.
Because this guy, and he's so just, he was just, so not even like you would think a drummer would look,
Yeah.
or someone who could play drums,
Oh,
you
just like an
know,
old
Oh,
like accountant.
yeah, or something, and he just walk up and, and Bernard Purdy's the same way, where they just
Yeah,
walk
oh
up
yeah.
and they just
Oh, that guy's great, man.
tear up these freaking drums, and you're watching, for me it'd be left hand, but just watching their left hand and you think, oh my God, this guy,
Yeah.
you know, and
And Joe
it's
Morello
it
was such a musical drummer too, like very
right.
expressive, musical, like melodic drummer, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. I love listening to his old stuff,
Oh
all the
yeah.
jazz stuff that he
Yeah,
did.
with the stuff with Dave Brubeck was just
Yeah.
untouched. Oh,
Yeah. That Dave Brubeck stuff is always in rotation when I'm
same.
listening. My playlist is strong with that stuff.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I have a live at Carnegie Hall double LP. I play that at home all the time. I love that. I
I
have
mean,
the device
you
too,
know,
but
you can just, I mean, you can just listen to it and not,
yeah.
there's nothing you don't need to jump up and down or anything. You just listen to it,
No,
enjoy the musicianship.
big time. Oh man, no, it's like sipping a nice scotch. Just you're not drinking that to get drunk. You're enjoying that. You're not drinking. You're not watching that. Listening to that music to get off. You're just, well, you are, but you're listening to it to just appreciate
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
on there.
And I don't know if you probably do the same thing. You can listen to it or anything he plays and discover something new every time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember I was listening one time. I was like, okay, so that's where Bonzo lifted half of Moby Dick from. Okay,
Well, you're a big Bonham fan, aren't you?
pretty much my favorite drummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Same.
I love Bonzo. That I mean, it's again, he can play one measure. You hear one measure and you know it's him.
Oh yeah. He could play a straight four and you would go, oh yeah, that's
That's
Bonham
his
immediately.
hi hat sound is just like the way, just his whole approach is great. Yeah, he's like me and my dad's favorite drummer too. Just rock solid and the foot of the gods too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is there anybody in the past couple of years that you've really been following?
The
Not
kid,
so much influence, but people you really enjoy playing.
yeah, I really like Jason Recruitman, a Grayson Recruitman rather.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
he played a
yeah.
little bit for Suicidal, and he's playing with maybe Sepultura. He was not a he's a jazz drummer. He's a kid. I met him. He's like 20 years old or 21 years old. The kid is a phenom, like doing, there's videos of him on Instagram doing like the Buddy Rich Impossible solo, and he's just smoking it.
Wasn't that how he got started? Wasn't he originally like a social media drummer sort of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, he started playing with bands.
yeah, and the kid's great. He had a apparently it took him a minute to kind of figure out maybe ergonomically and dynamically how to play, not how to play metal, but how to approach playing it. So
Yeah,
it took him like a day. Then he's like, okay. Then he was just a monster at it. Yeah, I think he's great. He's like he'll be a future like legend. I think he's the kid's amazing.
yeah.
And there's a kid. I think his name's Adam Bradley Schneider. He just plays. He's again on Instagram. He just he plays lots of like odd, ethnic beats on on a strange kind of hodgepodge drum kit that he puts together, and there's always different, but just does these little. It's just nice to listen to, little percussive, little whether it's not Afro-Cuban, but like maybe some more deep cover
Is
stuff.
that the kid that does the drum and bass stuff, or bass and drum stuff? And then he'll play like a hip hop beat using like weird instruments or something.
No, that sounds pretty cool though. No, he just plays in his studio or his living room or something. But
okay.
He always has strange drums, strange little instruments, a lot of like different ethnic style, ethnic different drums, and he'll throw a tea towel over this drum and do that, just augment things a little bit, and just play some really just tasteful. Just stuff it's like when you listen to the isolated drum track from "Fool in the Rain." You just gonna listen to it forever, right? It's like one of those things. You just listen. It's like, oh yeah, ooh yeah, that's nice,
Yeah.
So it's more maybe, I don't know how great he is in a live setting. I don't know the kid, but he does some tasty stuff.
Yeah. What let's switch gears and talk about your gear that you're playing.
Yeah.
What is it stayed the same through the years? Have you changed anything up? What are you currently playing? Sticks, etc.
Well, when I first joined the band, I had a Yamaha stage custom kit that I had bought, because I had been, when I was 19, I was living in Germany with my cousin and my uncle and aunt, and we were busking, playing Irish music on the streets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they bought a kit. It was like a nice Yamaha Maple Absolute kit, beautiful kit. They're like, well, yeah, you can't take that home to America. Sorry, okay. So, but when they paid me, I went home, went on like the one ad, and I found this guy was getting rid of half of his giant kit. So I got this it was like a kind of a pearlescent white Yamaha stage custom kit. It was a 24, 13, 15, and with a brass snare. But so when I joined the Dropkicks, I played 2 shows with that. I think I played the first show at TT the Bears in Cambridge, and then I played Coney Island High. And then they're like, "Well, we got this advance from the record label. We got to get you a new drum kit." I'm like, okay. So I went to Jack's Drum Shop. Rest in peace, Jack's Drum Shop in Boston. And there was this green DW kit. So they're like, "How about this one?" I'm like, "Well, that's really expensive." They're like, "Dude, come on." I'm like, okay. But that was a 2012, 14. And I had I think I was using I don't know, it was like a Slingo and wood snare. It was a 5.5 by 14. And cymbals, I just got what I could, and after that, SJC drums contacted me many years ago when the brothers were still in their grandmother's barn doing it all themselves pretty much. And I kind of held off on that for a bit. And I started using, they made me a kit to just check out the sizes. So it was just a pretty, rough and ready, pretty cheap and cheerful sort of kit. But it was 2012, 14, 16, and, dug the sizes. So they made me, I've had I think 3 custom kits, 3 custom kits by them over the years. And they've got better and better. I mean, the last 10 years or so, they've had great stuff.
Yeah.
And I use DW hardware, Zildjian cymbals. I have a couple of Royal cymbals at home that I use in my kit at home, and Black Beauty snare drum. Not like a vintage one or anything like that. The modern Black Beauties are pretty nice, I find. And so I've been I've been with SJC for a while now, and for sticks, so I used Vic for many years, a few years, and I forgot my stick bag somewhere, and the drummer for Agnostic Front, Jimmy Coletti, was like, hey, borrow some of mine. Oh, thanks, bud. And they were ProMark. They were ProMark 5As. I'm like, oh, this is great, cool. And I ended up using ProMark Shirakashi Oak 5As wood forever. And more recently I ordered them, and they sent me the wrong sticks. They sent me these Shirakashi Oak, they're called Forward 5As, and I love them. They're friggin' awesome. They're a little
It's where they're weighted more towards the
weight a little
front
bit
or
more, and
something.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're nowhere near as heavy as a 5B or as thick. And now they just stopped making them, so I can't get them anymore. But I love that. And like going back to a regular 5A, I'm like, oh, jeez. So I got like in my my work box, um, in my drum tech next box. There's like a bunch of these forwards, and most of them the tips are all chipped. You know, they're acorn tip, and they're all chipped. Like I have like 3 or 4 more pair left that are still good. So
So
the
do
idea
you?
is to try to. I don't have like a signature stick. I am not really interested
Oh,
in that.
okay,
But now I am, because if it means
because of that.
making those sticks,
Yeah.
being able to get that size and weight of stick, and that, more importantly, that material, the oak.
Yeah.
It's denser, it's heavier, it breaks down differently than hickory, it feels different than hickory. Um, Hopefully I'll be able to get them on that. If you're
Yeah.
listening, ProMark.
Yeah. If they had not gotten bought out by Diodario, I could help you because Promark actually started in Houston, where I grew
Yeah.
up,
Yep.
and used to know the family that started it.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. So, but now Diodario owns them. So
Yeah, they bought them out like 12 years ago,
yeah,
maybe
it's been a
more
while.
than that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that being said, now like I get the deal in Evans heads, so that's nice.
What are
Because
you
they bought.
using? Which Evans are you using?
I like on the snare. I like the Genera Dry on like couple more of my ringier snares, but the G2s on the toms coated,
Okay.
and
How often are you changing out heads? Just as needed, sort of thing.
yeah, I'm not like Mickey D from Motorhead. I'm not changing them every day.
Yeah.
No, I mean like bottom, Rezo heads will probably go a whole tour easily. Um, Snare gets changed maybe once a tour, snare Rezo head, but snare head's probably every 5, 6 shows, depending. So I don't really hit really hard, and I don't divot heads really.
Yeah.
Um,
I've never
Tom-
understood that, but whatever.
well, it's
Yeah.
bad
I mean, just
ergonomics.
yeah. I mean, to each their own. I
Yeah, I
just
mean, if you're playing like this and your rack tom is like almost
right.
vertical, you're gonna make some marks, you know. Yeah, but yeah, that's so it's yeah. I'd probably change the heads out. Yeah, like we were gonna change the heads out today, but set them up and they sounded good and they felt good, you know. So I was like, well, why bother? Put a fresh snare head on 2 days ago. We played outdoors, so that gives it a beating because it was cold and it was kind of
Right.
rainy. But the snare sounds great. So, I'm not superstitious about changing drum heads or anything like that. I don't keep them on for no good reason. I don't change them for no good reason. If they feel like they got to go, like when they feel ready to, they just
Yeah.
they dead. They've
Yeah.
got no
Especially a
response.
snare, you can tell.
Yeah, just you're missing that crispiness, that feel, the sensitivity.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there's no like real logic. No, I mean that's the only logic to it, really. I guess
Have
is
you have you added anything to your kit like a Baron or anything like that?
no. I mean, I'll play a bar on like when I have to, once in a great while. Um, but live, I added a 16-inch floor tom about 10, 11, maybe 10, 15 years ago or something. But before that, it was just a 12 and 14 on the toms. And I went up. I actually changed from a 20-inch kick to a 22 because I found the air moves way better in a 22. And if we were playing a different kind of music, I'd probably play a 24. But just for speed's sake, for ergonomics, and for my shoulders' sake, I don't want to be playing a rack tom way up here, 100 miles
Right.
an hour, where with a 22 it's just a little lower. Because like a
Yeah.
24 is for me is the ideal. The way the air is pushing around in the kick drum, it just feels. I like to feel that the best. But it's just not for this band. It doesn't. It's just not right.
Have
For
you
how?
had any issues with your shoulders?
No, I just don't want them.
Okay.
Like people. I was our current bus driver. The guy's driving this tour, is a drummer. He's teched for like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and stuff. He's like, man, he's a drummer. He's like, you play your cymbals really low. I'm like, yeah, I have no shoulder problems.
Yeah.
I want to keep it that way because a lot of guys, what's his face, the drummer, the guy who played for the Dead Boys, he was like way up here, like full
Yeah.
extension. You hit the cymbals. That's going to wreck your shoulders, or if you're a carpenter, it's the same thing. Carpenters blow off their shoulders. I don't need that. I want to play drums till I'm dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a regional band that comes through town, and their original drummer was completely different than this guy they have now.
Okay.
This other guy the original drummer was a big Bonham fan.
Yeah.
And played the same size as Vista Kit and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, the two Ps, it was Pearl and Paiste. That's what he played. But they got a new drummer, and this guy sets his cymbals up at their highest, like the stands as tall as they can go. And it hurts my shoulder stretching.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why would you do that to yourself?
And I mean, and he's even got his ride up there.
That's
and I'm
awful.
like, bro, why?
You're setting yourself up for injury.
Yeah. And I mean, the guy's younger than I am, of course, but I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Like, you want to play with, like, when you're 50, 60, 70,
right.
You're not going to. You're going to be pulling a Phil Collins, man, you poor guy.
I know. I mean, but yeah, I think that was something that when I was in, right after high school, and I had gotten really serious about my craft, and I started kind of looking at it from a practical standpoint. Like, how do I set up my kit? Is it ergonomical? Am I having to reach too far for stuff? Things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really helped me through the years not have carpal tunnel issues, not have sciatic nerve issues. Like, I watch how I sit, even though I'm slumping in a chair right now. But when I get behind a kid, I mean, I'm like sitting up straight.
You're feeling those two bones in your butt hitting the seat.
Yeah, and I haven't had any issues. The shoulder issues I have now are from CrossFit and boxing.
That's yes, but yeah, you said you had to get a nerve block.
Yeah, I had to get a nerve block. Yeah, my neck.
Yeah, it sounds
and
awful.
It was so bad.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't even imagine playing, because it was going from numb. It went from tingling to numb to where, okay, this sucks.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, man.
And unfortunately, I work online all day, where I work. So I'm sitting most of the day, but yeah. So, I mean, I try to change up how I sit and whatever. So, but with all that said, have you had any, you said you didn't have any shoulder issues. Have you had any wrist issues?
Well, how many years ago, maybe 2018 or so, I think I want to say, we came off one of these Patty's Day tours right into Boston, and one of the shows, we did a special show at Harper's Ferry, so it's called Brighton Music Hall now.
Yeah,
it holds 500.
I know the name of it.
Yeah, it's a great place, great venue. And it was a special, like, you had to go that day of the show and buy a wristband, like this rubber wristband. So like, and it was all went to the Claddagh Fund. So no scalpers could get a hold of any of the tickets, any of the money. Like, it was one per, one wristband per person. It was great. Anyway, at the opening band was I forget what we called it, but it was myself on drums, Kevin, our current bass player, our bass player on vocals, and a couple of our crew guys on guitars and bass, and we did all Bon Scott era AC/DC songs. So it's like we played, and then Dropkicks did like pretty much two sets. Like, we did a set of like newer stuff, then a set of older stuff. So I probably played like about 2.5 hours of pretty high powered music that day. And so that was the last show of the weekend, and like, we were done. A couple days later, I was like, I want to go down the space, play a little bit, because I used to live right near our practice space, and I went down there, picked up sticks, and I was like, ow. Like, what had happened was I had created micro tears in my metacarpus. So it wasn't carpal tunnel syndrome, but the carpus that goes into the tunnels had little ridges just from wear and tear from the weekend and from the tour before. And I basically any sort of you hit anything, it's going to hurt. And I went to the doctors, and they're like, well, you're going to not play drums for like about 3 weeks. Like, okay, fair enough, because we had a tour coming up probably 2 months later, whatever it was. Had to cancel a couple other occasions I was playing, like other stuff, and like I need, this is my livelihood. I can't screw the guys in my band over it.
Right.
So, and there was that. So I went to like physical therapy, and that was a weird one. And some years before that, I had torn. There's a cartilage band that goes around your tendons in your wrist, and like right in that spot
Yeah.
there,
I know
there
what
was
you're
a
talking about.
tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a tear there, and I went to had to go through occupational therapy for that. So it just involved like ultrasonic heat,
Yep. Did that.
being
Yeah.
massaged, and like somebody, this woman, basically like gently stretching my arms and stuff like that, and then it was fine. And one other time I got like a really nasty tennis elbow. Subsequently, closer, more recently, and had to get a cortisone shot in my arm, and that helped. And then
Has it come back or anything?
no, it hasn't, which is nice. I mean, I have a little bit of fatigue just because we played all those shows in a row recently. Wrists are sore, but they don't feel injured. And when they start to feel sore, put wrist braces on, sleep with those. Or my hands are in a neutral
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
You got, just because there's no sick days. You don't.
Right.
No. So
Yeah.
unless it's an actual, like, unless you break something, you get out there and playing. Well, actually, I broke a bone in my hand one time. That's right. We were in Australia, uh, probably 2000, 2001, playing a tour. We had 6 shows. The first show, I broke. I got a boxer's break in my ring finger, the metacarpus in my left hand, and
Yep.
had to play 5 more shows with that broken, and that was really not cool. That sucked, I tell you. It's
I
nothing like,
couldn't imagine.
couldn't wrap it up. Couldn't. I mean, I put this
Yeah.
topical. They gave me this topical, like, Asper cream type, like a prescription Asper cream on it, but it was, that was not cool. That was very, very painful.
Yeah. Sadly, those bones, those metatarsals in your pinky and ring finger, they're so hard to like protect
Yeah,
after
I mean,
if you break them or
floating.
fracture them. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so hard to wrap, and keep safe.
yeah. Shouldn't have done what I
Well,
did.
I will tell you, as someone who is aging, there is a thing called Voltaren gel.
Voltaren's great. Yep.
Yeah, that
Well,
stuff,
because they
man.
had that in Europe for many years before. Like, it only
Right.
came to America a few years ago, but like we always stock up in
Yep.
Germany or Holland to bring it home. Yeah, this stuff's great. Because
Yeah, I have a friend that's a rep for them, and he always gives me like a bag of samples, and I'm like, "Bless you, bless you."
yeah, Slatty or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, our
I mean,
sound
it's
guy is
just
on his feet all day. He's the one that introduced me to it. He's a really tall gent, and he's a big guy, and it's so like ended of sometimes in the morning he'll just come out of his bunk and just be shuffle into the lounge like, I can't even move my legs. So that Voltaren just slather,
oh yeah,
and then they actually can kind of go about his day. I'm not
yeah.
saying it's magic, but it works really well.
Oh no, I mean, I think it's magic. I played
Yeah,
soccer in college, and my knees still give me shit, and I just
yeah,
sometimes, like after boxing, I'll come home and my knee will be killing me, like my lead foot will be killing me
yeah.
because of the pivoting and stuff. And yeah, I'm slathered
It,
in
it,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
My kick drum knee too. Yeah, it's I sometimes when I go upstairs to get my son in the morning.
oh, those stairs don't play sometimes.
Yeah, it's like
You especially you hit
you
that
feel this
first
little
one.
like,
Yeah.
just feels like a little slip or something like that. I'm thinking, 10 years from now, am I gonna need a new knee?
Yep.
Maybe.
I get it. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
All right. So before you go, let's
Yes,
talk
sir.
about you guys are about to get on a Bad Religion tour. When
Yeah.
does that kick off?
Oh, that's in July, thank God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that starts July. I think July 12th or something, maybe. I might be
Oh,
wrong on
okay.
the
I thought
date.
it was sooner.
No. We have almost 4 months off coming up. First time we've had more than 2 weeks off for over a year, so we're really looking forward to catching up with family and stuff like that, and actually
Oh, good for you.
resting
Yeah.
our bones. Yeah, no, the Bad Religion tour will be great though. I mean, we did a mostly Canadian tour with them. Oh, probably 20 years ago now. And that was great. We got along with them great. I think and we played with them actually this past I should say this past last summer 24 in Katowice, Poland. played a festival there with there's us, them, and Agnostic Front, and it was great. It was awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
What
like
a
we hadn't seen
lineup.
them for a while, and just we
Yeah.
have caught up with some of those guys like Brian Baker. I mean,
Oh
Minor
yeah.
Threat is it's Minor Threat. And he's a
Right.
wicked good dude. So it was cool catching up with him and some of those guys, and yeah, and like this came about, and we're gonna have a tour together. It should be a blast.
Well, that'll be good for you guys to have all that time off,
Yeah,
before you get
yeah,
started. Take
yeah.
care of all
Just to
its
like, I mean, there's so
aches and
much.
pains.
Well, that and just also just as a drummer, I have plenty to work on. So much stuff I want to improve on.
Are you
Get
going to go
down.
back to lessons, you think?
There are some lessons. That guy Dave Elich does a really good online course.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's great, and there's a couple other avenues I'm pursuing. There's just also just studying other stuff like Afro-Cuban stuff, and just things that kind of, and also just my bass, my kick drum accuracy and in finesse I'm gonna work on my seat height in ergonomics as far as that goes. Just because when I was younger, granted I was younger, but 30 years ago I could play all the bonzo stuff with my foot. Now I get nothing. It's all just
Yeah.
meathead stuff. So there's a lot to work on, and then then I'm my accuracy and speed on single stroke rolls is pretty weak. So that's that kind of stuff. Just yeah, there's just a million. As you know yourself as a drummer, there's a myriad of things that I could be much better at that,
Oh yeah.
and I can improve that. Or I mean, even just the simple rudimentary stuff, you can always get better at it. At what you do. And it's not like some kind of athlete minded thing. Just to make it so doing what I do takes less effort.
Yeah.
you know?
Sure. I mean,
Yes.
absolutely. See, and I'm of the opinion that I think the more you broaden your musical taste and listen and maybe even try to play along with or something, all that does is improve your playing to
Big time.
what you may be playing, what you guys play versus, you know, I mean, we talked about Joe Morello earlier,
Hmm.
but just playing a swing beat
Yeah.
does wonders for feel, and that sort of thing when you come back to what you're originally playing, what your band's doing,
Yeah.
sort of
Oh,
thing.
I've ever since I was a kid, my drum teacher was always, let's learn this reggae song. Let's learn this, we're going to teach you, you're going to learn this Sade song. You're going to learn whatever, just so many, it was always, funk, soul, jazz, and rock, like all,
Hmm.
and there's so much more out there too, but keeping open to different styles of playing and challenging yourself is only going to improve
Right.
your abilities.
Yeah.
I fully
Seeing
agree.
like I play along with a lot of old 70s funk because I think that feel, it's like you were talking about, you guys played Bon Scott era AC/DC.
Yeah.
That stuff is not easy to play.
Well, no,
People
because
think it is,
it's a
but
lot. It's more complicated than you think it is,
yep.
because just the little pushes and where he puts the kick drum in some places, like you listen to Rock and Roll Damnation, that's not four on the floor. There's stuff going on there, and it's moving with the riff, and it's not. It's a lot more well thought out than you'd think it would be.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not stupid. It's clever. It's not intellectually stimulating. It's clever. It's just naturally just that's every there's nothing wasted there. Every push, every kick drum, every snare drum counts in such a big way.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's like Malcolm Young's guitar playing. It was just his rhythm playing was just incredible.
Oh yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like I've seen, I'm sure you have as well, but you see all these bar bands do a cover
It's
and you're like, dude, you're fast.
yeah, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. You're too fast.
Yeah, well, it's
Slow
always
it.
it's like anybody doing like a Ramones cover. They're always like,
Yeah.
they're playing, they're like they heard, um, the Ramones live album, they're like, oh, let's just play the,
Right.
No, that's because they were all coked up and stuff, man. No, like, just play it right.
What? They did drugs? You're kidding.
Of varying sorts, yeah. Yeah, no thanks. I can't even have a beer before we play. Never mind.
Yeah, I can't either. I've
Never
never.
have.
I did that one time, and I screwed up one set. We were playing 2 sets, and I screwed up the first set so bad. I was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys, never again."
Yeah. I just can't. I have a beer, and like my ability goes down the toilet. It's like, nah. There's no like. First of all, I wouldn't want to do that to somebody. Do that with the people I'm playing with, and then second of all, like. You can end up injuring yourself. You can and then people who actually pay to come see you. Wow, they're not getting my best because I felt like getting a buzz on before a show. No thanks.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you've also seen bands where they're like, they come out and they're so sloppy, just horrible, and you're like, why did I pay for this?
Yes,
I could have gone out to eat or something.
Like you this band, you traveled all the way to Boston and you like. You can't even stand up. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah, way to make an impression. Whatever, that's to each his own, I guess.
No, that's cool.
They're partying, that's all.
So what's on your plans for St. Patrick's weekend? Got anything planned? That's it.
Shows and trying to hide from people. Because I have I'm just kidding. I got a lot of family coming out. It's tough. Cool. It's tough trying to balance guests with getting the job done because everybody wants a piece of that weekend.
Sure.
So it's pretty crazy. And then we all have so many guests. Like on the Saturday, I think I have 50 guests, just myself.
Oh wow!
And that's one guy in the band. So it's wild. It takes a lot out of you. So it's going to be trying to eat good food, eat healthily, drink a lot of water, get enough sleep, and so I can play a good show. So that's all I really care about for that weekend. Or any night is make sure because if I screw up, the rest of them look bad. So
are you gonna
the band?
Yeah, are you gonna try to make it to the parade?
No. My wife and son. Well, I used to live around the corner from the parade route for 17 years or so. But
oh, did you really?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a parade except like we played on a float a couple times. I haven't been to a parade on my own forever, just because it's getting into South Boston is tough, and then getting out's even harder. And like with sound check and with just getting back, you have the mentality of being in the bubble. Like you have to be at the venue. It's like it's a stupid thing, but when you're on tour or whatever, it's just I find a lot of guys find we call it the bubble. You have to be in the bubble. You need to stay by the venue.
That makes sense. Sure. Yeah, you want to stay in the game, so to speak.
Yeah, like you head of the game. And that's and going to the St. Patty's Day parade it's awesome. And like my old neighbors have a nice party. They like a bunch of food, and the kids have a blast and stuff. And my wife and my son are going to go, but I'm not going to go. It's something I've had to forego.
Yeah, that's certainly understandable.
Yeah. So I mean, most people don't even know where St. Patrick was born or who he was or what he did anywhere. They're just like, let's get wasted.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it's an excuse to wear green and drink and get obnoxious.
Yeah. So it's an excuse for me to give up my Lenten abstention from drinking for a day because it's a feast day. So I'll have a couple beers after the show.
Right. Well, hey, I wanted to thank you, Matt. I mean, I know we've been trying to get it together, and you.
I know.
Just and trust me, dude. I mean, it was absolutely no problem. I wanted to work around your schedule to get you on. And I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, we can get you back on during the Bad Religion tour. Would you mind doing that? Okay, cool.
And the storm steers grip where sea beasts dwell. Our metals tested through each monstrous swell. Lightning's flash and thunder's call. In battle we stand tall. Against the dark, our swords advance on.